Hi, it's Dennis Daly. Nice to have you along on All Week Theater, where we take a classic radio episode and play it out over 5 days. This week, something I'm sure you've not heard before. For a short time in 1944, Orson Welles hosted a daily live broadcast called Orson Welles Almanac. It had the regular almanac things, but it also had humor and skits. And, for example, members of the Mercury Theater were there, Ray Collins, Agnes Moorehead. And on this show, you'll hear Arthur Q. Bryan, the voice of Elmer Fudd, who shows up as the CBS censor. Now, part one of Orson Welles Almanac.
Good evening. This is Orson Welles. Just saying hello before the show starts. We hope this finds you well and leaves you better. This is your radio almanac, the first of a new series. An almanac, you'll remember, usually has at least a little bit of just about everything, and, well, that's us. Mostly we want your almanac to be fun for you, real fun for all of you, wherever you are. This is January 26th, St. Polycarp's Day, and the eve of the feast of St. Chrysostom. There was a new moon yesterday morning at 8:33 at 4 degrees Aquarius. Our astrology department says for me to tell all you Aquarians who were born this week that you're in for a very active year. They want me to say that everything looks pretty good for you. 156 years ago today, the British settled Australia. I mention these things because they belong in an almanac. And here's another interesting item. 3 weeks ago today exactly, Dick Tracy was kidnapped by Flat Top. Homely philosophy and nuggets of wisdom come later, along with Groucho Marx. January 26th, our time, 1944, is the date Groucho Marx appears on this show. Tonight and every week at the same time over these same stations, the makers of Mobil Gas and Mobil Oil bring you Orson Welles. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular new moon is a total eclipse of the sun. But despite the conjunction with the moon's south node, and its opposition to Pluto, which give vent to the foregoing luminaries, behold some very good aspects.
Mr. Wells, immediately after this broadcast, you're to proceed to the lobby of the Wilshire Fish Market, which is having its grand premiere. You will remove your shoes, and at 11:55, imprints of your feet will be preserved for posterity in the fresh cement. There's just one other matter. I have to fill out these forms for Social Security. Now, the name is Orson Welles, and what is your occupation?
Well, I'm a dispenser of wit and humor. I bring smiles to people's faces. I make the whole world laugh.
Mm-hmm. Unemployed?
You can say that again. Might I inquire, miss, who you are and what you're doing here?
Well, they sent me over. I'm Miss Grimmett, your new secretary.
I don't need a secretary. Who sent you over?
Your sponsor.
Oh. Well, pull up a knee and sit down. I guess I could use just one more little secretary. Now, on with the show. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the average family in the United States consists of 3.5 persons?
Oh, isn't that kind of messy, having a half a person around the house?
I'd rather you didn't interrupt, Miss Grimmett. This is a radio program.
Well, you'd better look over your script first. I've made a few changes.
You've made a few changes?
Yes. You plan to introduce as your first guest star Cordell Hall?
Yes, I thought I'd start with the Secretary of State and sort of build from there. Great idea, isn't it?
No, I've canceled Cordell Hall. We can replace him with Frank Sinatra.
I'm sorry, that's out of the question. That's out of the question. We couldn't possibly use Frank Sinatra on this program. These microphones have no handles. Got enough to do without picking him up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the next item on your radio almanac is a little philosophical playlist. A drama. A censor again. What's on your mind this time, Mr. Trivers?
Oh, we fellas upstairs. We've just been studying your script. Now, this drama you got on for tonight. You can't do that on the air.
Why not?
Oh, Mr. Wells.
What is wrong with the love life of a gypsy moth?
Why, Why, the sound effects alone are censorable.
What sound effects?
Well, take this one you got indicated right here.
Yes.
See? Sound of two caterpillars necking. That's got to come out.
But why? What a wonderful thing. I say, just imagine, if you will, two caterpillars necking. Listen to them. There's a pause, and we hear nothing. Now, see, caterpillars being so soft and silky, they don't make a sound when they're necking.
That's what I mean. Much too suggestive.
Well, now, what's suggestive about it? These caterpillars aren't making a sound.
That's just it. They're being very sneaky about it.
All right, we'll cut the caterpillars. Will you sea lions? You have to have a fish in your pocket. Any other complaints?
Yes, scene 3. The one about love at first sight.
Love at first sight?
Yeah, that's got to come out.
Which scene is that?
Well, it's this one here, see? Where the moth flies into the closet and sees a sweater.
Well, it's a charming scene. What's wrong with this?
Oh, come now, Mr. Wells. Whose sweater did you really have in mind?
What do you mean?
You know very well, Mr. Wells, that when you put a sweater in this story, you were thinking of only one person. And I don't mean John's other wife. I'm afraid, Mr. Wells, I'll have to cut the whole script.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will send a stamped, self-addressed envelope together with 2 feathers from the wings of the flying red horse and 25 cents to cover handling and mailing, I will send you the censor.
That was Lud Gluskin's orchestra playing I Know That You Know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was what she said it was. Thank you, Miss Grimmett.
So join me next time when we cut up yet another old-time radio show into 5 parts on All Week Theater.